Online gaming cosmetics are one of the most important parts of gaming today, and they serve as a way for you as a player to distinguish yourself and become an individual with your own individual style within whatever game it is that you're playing. But depending on what game you're playing, some skins are really easy to get, but way more expensive. But on Valorant, if it rotates into your store, for the most part, you can get it. And you can get it all without having to compete with anybody for the price. But in the common age of gaming where the battle pass is the norm, there are some skins that you might not get because you might not be able to finish the battle pass. And specifically on Valorant, some of these skins on the battle passes that we've had in the past have become extraordinarily rare because there is no other way to get them and they are not coming back anytime soon. And today, I'm going to show them to you. I'm urnotjustin, and these are the skins that you don't have. A question that I'm frequently asked is, what skins do I not have? I've spent over $6,000 buying every single skin in the game, and there are a few skins that I don't have despite that. And for today's video, I wanted to make a list for you guys of skins that you might not have because of the grind involved getting them, or the fact that you could only get them in a small window of time. And today we're starting this list off with the Hivemind collection. Going all the way back to 2020, on August 5th to October 13th, the Ignition Act 2 Battle Pass came out. And as a part of it, it included the Hivemind collection. And a disclaimer before we move any further, I know that a lot of you out there might actually have a lot of these skins that I'm going to talk about, but there is an even greater amount of people that won't have it. Simply because when Valorant first came out, the battle passes that were involved with the first two acts were absolutely absurd in terms of grinding and the amount of XP it took to unlock stuff. But more on that later. Hivemind consisted of a Shorty, a Spectre, a Vandal, an Ares, a Sword, and a player card. All of which are pretty cool. Although they are battle pass skins, the quality of them is particularly high, and at a minimum, interesting because they're essentially just bug skins. And I think that's pretty cool, if not just interesting. But unfortunately, the reason why you may not have this is because it was a part of Ignition Act 2. The current battle passes that we get now are very easy and very fair to complete. But back in Ignition 2, you paid $10 for a battle pass that you most likely wouldn't be able to finish, unless you just had an infinite amount of time. I covered this in depth in a video from a while ago, but the battle pass from Ignition Act 2 took around 1.4 million XP to finish. The battle pass was about 2 months long, and doing the math based off of the amount of XP that you were getting at the time, including the weekly and daily challenges, it would take 171,000 XP per week for 2 months to finish that battle pass, which translates even more to roughly 28 games per week to barely finish the battle pass. And this is assuming that you're winning these games and not losing, because you do get less XP for losing. And because of this very simplified TLDR of how hard the battle passes used to be, a lot of people missed out on a lot of the skins from these battle passes, which flew the Hivemind collection into this list of skins you don't have. Earlier I mentioned that I'm asked a lot what skins I wasn't able to get, and at the end of this video I will answer that. But the next thing on this list that we're going to talk about, in my opinion, is unofficially number 1, the Aerosol collection, Formation Act 1. Coming from a battle pass that launched on January 12th, 2021 to March 2nd, 2021, the Aerosol collection flew in straight from Counter-Strike, giving us arguably one of the most underrated skin collections from a battle pass of all time. A hidden gem in its own right, the Aerosol collection consisted of a Shorty, a Bucky, an Odin, and an Operator, each one uniquely being painted with graffiti. On each individual gun, there is a different style of graffiti with different art, and an array of different colors. If you own these, I would equip them just to check them out, and if you don't own them, I would check them out in your inventory. And considering the fact that they are a battle pass skin, which is just $10, if you don't own skins, or maybe you don't have skins for the Bucky, Shorty, Odin, and Operator, these skins are an absolutely clean, tried and true, reliable skin to have equipped. And in particular, the Shorty and the Operator really stand out in this collection. The Shorty is particularly cool because it actually quite literally looks like something that you would see in Counter-Strike. But what really gets me is the octopus on the handle. That is sick. And on the Operator, the color scheme is just too clean to ignore, being one of the few purple skins that we have in the game at all. But sadly, another battle pass that was really bogged down by this looming concept that it would be too hard to finish. At this point in the game, the developers realized that battle passes weren't being finished because there just simply wasn't enough time for most people to get them done. And they did acknowledge this, and they did say that going forward, they were going to make it easier to finish. And they kept that promise. But unfortunately, at this point, with the first 3 battle passes being nearly impossible to finish, in most people's minds, they thought, why should I put down $10 for something that I'm not going to be able to complete anyways? So they didn't get it. If previously you were conditioned to know that you can't finish something, going forward there is no incentive to buy this battle pass. And that's why the Aerosol collection is one skin collection that you might not own. As you may or may not know, this channel is all about appreciating the things that are on Valorant. Aerosol is really cool. I love it a lot. And I would love to see it come back in another battle pass, including a Vandal or a Phantom. But something that I'm hoping there is no continuation of, in any battle pass or bundle alike, the Kingdom collection. Act 1. Oh man, when I say that Valorant really did not put their best foot forward in terms of what we know now with the battle passes giving us stuff like the Ruin Dagger, and even just recently with the Velocity Karambit, Kingdom is easily the worst collection that we have ever gotten from a battle pass. Not just in quality, but in terms of the situation as well. Coming out on June 2nd, 2020 and lasting until August 4th, 2020, the almost worst version of the default skins came out with the Kingdom collection, a silver and black skin line, including a Classic, a Spectre, a Phantom, a Bucky, and of course, a knife. And it may sound like I'm going really hard on the Kingdom skins, and I know that there are some people out there who own these and also like them quite a bit. However, I'm looking at this in terms of what the circumstance for them was. Act 1 was easily one of the hardest battle passes to ever exist ever in gaming. I'm not talking Valorant, I'm talking in gaming. This was the battle pass that took about 1.4 million XP in all those games that you had to play per week. And for the first ever battle pass, for it to require that much grinding just to get the Kingdom skins is an absolute slap in the face. Down the line, I'm gonna show you guys what skins I don't have. But just right now, I'm gonna give this one to you. I grinded so hard to finish that battle pass, and I got everything on it, including the knife. Reminder, 1.4 million XP, 28 games per week, the stipulation of if you win more, you get more XP. And begrudgingly, because of how hard it was to grind out the Kingdom collection, it made this list of skins that you might not have. Not just because of how hard it was to grind, but because it's just not that cool. I'm sorry, dude. The battle pass has been really good and really bad. The Kingdom is an example of how bad it's been. But this next one on the list is an example of how great it's been. The Ruin collection. An incredibly obvious choice for this list. Although quite a few people did grind out to get the Ruin Dagger because of just how cool it really is, a good majority of us weren't so lucky. And it would be really easy to sit here and just talk about the Ruin Dagger because that is the obvious star of the show here. But let's take a minute to just appreciate that Ruin is so much more than just the dagger. Releasing during Ignition Act 3 on October 13th, 2020, with a whopping 92 days to January 12th, 2021, the Ruin collection is one of the biggest collections that we've gotten from a battle pass at all. Not just including the dagger, but including a Shorty, a Guardian, a Vandal, a Marshal, a player card, a spray, and a buddy. 8 items in total, all in one battle pass. And for this one, I'm going to spare you the griping about the battle pass and how long it takes to grind, because I genuinely feel for this collection in particular, the grind was actually worth it no matter how great it might have been. Even without considering how cool the Ruin Dagger is, the Ruin Vandal itself is super clean. This is a few VFX and a finisher away from being an S tier skin. And ironically enough, although the collection's name is Ruin, this looks more like a Kingdom skin than the actual Kingdom skins do, with royal golden and red accents on a black finish, making the Vandal arguably one of the cooler Vandal skins in the game without VFX or upgrades. Also notably giving us one of the 13 Marshal skins that exist in the game. And yes, the dagger will get its own part. Oftentimes confused with the Karambit, the Ruin Dagger is easily one of the biggest knives that has ever come out in this entire game at all. Surprisingly enough, Riot didn't find a way to sell this for $45, and it came all within a $10 battle pass. There's too much to love about this collection and not enough of it out in circulation, but it was able to circulate its way onto this list of skins you don't have. And before we wrap up this video, I would like to give you guys a few honorable mentions. Red Alert, Ignition Act 2, Outpost, Formation Act 1, the Champions Collection, a collection that came out that's never coming back. And lastly, to finish off this video for the skins that you don't have, well, these are the skins that I don't have. Okay, so I know that a lot of you out there have been waiting for a really long time to see the skins that I don't own. Here they are. We go here and we click that. You'll notice I'm missing a lot of agent stuff, which we'll get into, but just right off the bat here, Red Alert's missing. I don't think I have any Red Alert stuff at all. I don't have any Infinity stuff for sure. A really good place to start, honestly, is here with the knives. The biggest L that I've ever taken ever was not putting in the hours to get the Ruin Dagger, but in my defense, I have an excuse. I wasn't like living anywhere at the time that the Ruin Dagger came out. I was like in between homes, and I was in the process of moving. I had literally zero time to play Valorant at all. But for the Ruin stuff in particular, if we go back to our collection here, I at a minimum, the Ruin Marshal. And you can even see here that I have 13 out of 13 of the Marshal skins. So I feel pretty good about that. 100% completion rate, good stuff on me. My locker may be worth $6,000, but you know, I'll never have this. So if any of you guys out there need some bragging rights, the Ruin Dagger is always something that you can brag about because not everybody has it. But same could also be said about the Outpost melee. Do I really care about the Outpost melee? Another heartbreaking one. The Hive Mind Sword. Particularly, this is heartbreaking for me because I'm pretty sure all of the Hive Mind stuff. Sad stuff, dude. Look at the Ruin Vandal. This is clean. As clean as it gets. I've been called out before for saying that the Kingdom stuff is bad, but it's like, it's so bad considering that this is all we got in the first ever battle pass. I will say, I honestly would probably consider the Kingdom stuff to be some of the rarest stuff in the game simply because of how hard it was to get. The knife in particular, because dang, that much XP, that much time required to get it. I don't really know what happened here, but the only Surge thing that I'm missing is the Surge Sheriff. Another one of the saddest losses that I've experienced on this game is that I do not have any of the aerosol stuff. The Shorty is Esther. This is probably one of the best Shorty skins in the entire game. You can see here I don't have any of the Red Alert stuff like I said. Man, that's actually kind of really clean though. My heart's broken, dude. Riot Buddy with Red Alert, that's sweet. But man, this aerosol operator is just so good. You know, if you're ever considering getting a battle pass because it has something really cool on it, I just want to remind you that like if you get it and you get all the stuff on it, you have it forever. And if you don't, you're never ever going to have it ever. And yeah, that pretty much does it. I'm missing all of the aerosol stuff, all of the Red Alert stuff, all of the Outpost stuff, a few things from Hive Mind, and one Surge item. But that does it for this list video. I love you guys, and thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this or found it insightful in any kind of way, do give me a like. It helps me out a lot. Also, comment down below if you own any of these skins or if you wish you owned any of these skins. It'd be interesting to see what you guys do and don't have according to what I listed. But anyways, as always, I'm Justin, and you're not. Like the video, subscribe if you're new, and click the bell for notifications so you do not miss a single video ever, even if you miss out on getting the aerosol collection. I'll see you guys in the next one. Love ya.